NFL Week 4 all game picks. Doesn't it seem like Week 3 was a strange week? Well, let's see if Week 4 continues that trend, kicking off with the Seahawks at the Cardinals on Thursday night. To us, we thought the Seahawks all along were one of the favorites for the NFC West. A lot of people scoffed at that. We predicted they might win the division. We think they've looked like one of the best teams in the NFC. We like them winning the game at Arizona. They swept the season series last year 2-0 over the Cardinals. They just seem to have an improved offense, and we're really impressed with that Mike McDonald defense. We think this for sure is a playoff team. Cardinals continue to struggle, can't win the close games at home. Unlucky loss a little bit San Francisco, but we like the Seahawks in this one. Titans at the Texans. The Titans, of course, with Cam Ward, rebuilding year, struggled, of course, against the Colts. The Colts are really looking good this year. Texans are a completely different type of disappointment. A team that's won the AFC South 2 straight years. We are Texans fans here, so we're biased, but this is a completely disappointing offensive team. We think they underestimated how bad that offensive line was. CJ Stroud has no time to throw, and he quite frankly has not been as good as his great rookie season. We think that O-line, the offense, just terrible. Average, we think somewhere 12.5 points a game. Defense only allows 17 points a game. That's facing the Rams, Bucs, and the Jaguars. We think they're going to beat the Titans. It's going to be one of those ugly games. We think, like them here, 17-14 is going to be low scoring and a dull game. A possible playoff preview game here with the Eagles at the Bucs. This is one of those matchups. The Eagles have been dominant against most of the teams in the league the past year, 2 years, but they've struggled at Tampa Bay and against the Buccaneers in general. We believe they've lost the last 2 times they've played, and we think it comes down to strength versus strength. The Eagles, we know what they do, right? We know with Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, dominant rushing game. They threw the ball better against the Rams, but clearly this is a run-first team. The Eagles, I mean, when you have Saquon, why wouldn't you be? But then look at the Bucs with Vita Vea right in the middle. That's a run-stuffing defense. This is a matchup advantage for the Buccaneers. And then we also think on offense, what the Rams have shown, and even the Chiefs, really, who should have won that game against the Eagles, in our opinion, they've shown that the pass defense is susceptible compared to what they were able to do last year. I think the pass defense, because they lost players like C.J. Gardner-Johnson, dare say they're not quite as good as a Super Bowl team. So we like the Bucs here, and again, home field is an advantage in that hot, humid Tampa area. We're from South Florida. We know how that plays a part. We like the Bucs here by 7. Jets at the Dolphins, tough AFC East divisional matchup. When we look at this one, very disappointing teams. You have a lot of possibilities with Justin Fields, and then the Dolphins with Tua, Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, all the expectations with that offense. We've been here since 2022, back when the expectations were so high. They've been nothing but disappointing ever since, and we really do wonder, are the Dolphins done? We would be very surprised if McDaniel survives this season, but it's really mostly Tua's fault. I think he's limited offensively and probably never should have gotten that re-up, that extension. But for this game, we think the Dolphins have a few advantages. We like them here 24-21 over the Jets. And then a game we're really much looking forward to would be the Colts at the Rams. Talking about surprise teams thus far for 2025, you got to put the Colts at the top of the list. Most pundits, including us, did not have them anywhere near the playoffs. To start off 3-0 and looking as clear favorites in the AFC South, kudos to Daniel Jones and what they've been able to do with that team. And then the Rams, a lot of people counting them out as Matthew Stafford too old. He was, potentially injured to start the season with a back issue. I think he continues to play as an ageless wonder. Not sure how many more years he's got left, but he's maximizing what he does have at this playing at this level in the NFL. And again, is this a resurgence? Is this legit? We weren't sold early, but we think what we saw in Week 3 against the Titans, we've been very impressed with Daniel Jones. We think this should be a very explosive game. We like the Rams here, however, at home, 28-21. We think their defense is a little bit better, and we still trust Stafford a little bit more than Daniel Jones. Packers at the Cowboys. Didn't it seem odd the way the Packers lost to the Browns? That might have been a survivor pool killer for a lot of you out there, right? To be up 10-zip with 6 minutes left to go in the game and then to lose like that on a blocked field goal. Very strange week. And we were glad we didn't put out this video. We're going to publish this. Are the Packers the best team in the NFL? We thought if we did, we might jinx them and maybe look a little stupid. Sure, what happens? The Packers go on to lose in a very weird way to the Browns. And the Cowboys, of course, at Chicago. How many people had the Bears? We did. Most people were looking at the Cowboys in that one. But again, the question remains, is Dak Prescott an elite QB? We're Texans fans. We don't like the Cowboys. We've always been high on Dak, but you can't deny that there's been inconsistency. We won't talk about the playoffs, just inconsistency during the season. Not sure if he's going to be around much more after this year, but we think this matchup is definitely one that favors Green Bay. We think, despite that outcome at Cleveland, a very weird game, we think they're the better team here. We think Jordan Love comes back to his prior ways, and we think that defense again. Think about this as a Micah Parsons homecoming game, so we think he's going to definitely be out to show that the Cowboys made a mistake. So we like the Packers here, 28-17. Next up, we have the Bengals facing the Broncos in Mile High. Broncos, tough loss at LA. Had the game really in hand and then kind of, I won't say choked it away, but found a way to lose late. We are wondering if Bo Nix is having a bit of a sophomore slump. We've heard us say it. We followed him ever since his Auburn days. My son went to Auburn, started the same year, so we watched a lot of those games. We root for him, but we think he's still going to be better than Jake Browning, who we were high on going into the Minnesota game, but obviously did not respect our support or justify it at all with a dreadful game. We think, again, we said this all along, playing at Mile High, that's a huge home field advantage. We don't think the Bengals offense have it. We don't think the defense has it. We think the Broncos had an off game at LA. No real shame losing to the Chargers in LA. I think they bounce back here with a victory. Ravens at the Chiefs, great playoff rematch, not from last year, but a few years back. AFC Championship game, of course. Tough loss for the Ravens. We look at these two teams. The Chiefs, even in victories, they don't look like their normal selves. We think they're just a little bit off, and it could be a case of like the old Belichick teams. They start off slow in September, and then look out in December, they're right back in it again. We wonder if that's in fact the case. We think, looking at Patrick Mahomes, we know he's going to bounce back. We think this team's definitely going to be in the playoffs, as we said. But we think with this being a regular season matchup, regular season Lamar Jackson just tears it up. We've said all along we think the Ravens are the best team in the AFC. So since this is a regular season game, we're going to pick the Ravens here, even at Kansas City, to win it fairly big, 31-21 over the Chiefs. If this were a playoff game, we might go the other way. Jaguars at the 49ers, again with some very weird outcomes in week 3. Both these teams easily could have lost their games. Texans at the Jaguars turned the ball over late with the opportunity to tie. 49ers Cardinals was a great back and forth game, low scoring. Then the 49ers held on there. We look at this and we still think Trevor Lawrence is inconsistent. Got a lot of bad comments about that thing we were picking on. We've seen him play in person a few times. Not impressed with the sailing high balls. Mac Jones looked really good yesterday that we thought. And we think the 49ers overall talent just a little bit better. We think home field advantage is a big geographical advantage. An East Coast team going way out to San Francisco. We like the Niners here again, a close one. And the first game on Sunday is going to be an early international game, the second international game of 2025 as the Vikings face the Steelers in Dublin, Ireland. Should be a very interesting visit to the Emerald Isles. Anyone in the comments, let us know. Have they played in Dublin before? We don't recall any matchups there. We know they play a couple of Notre Dame games. We don't think there's been an NFL game there quite yet. Too lazy, I guess, recording this late Sunday to Google it. But for this game, we wonder if the Steelers' defense is back. They look good against the Patriots, forcing 5 turnovers. But the prior 2 games weren't very dominant, giving up a lot of points, especially to the Jets. But we think they are back. We also like what the Vikings defense did, dominating over Cincinnati. But we trust Aaron Rodgers a little bit more than whoever the Vikings have at quarterback. We like the Steelers here. Saints at the Bills, a game on paper that has all the familiar symptoms of a blowout. Bills looking like clearly one of the top teams in the AFC, if not the best. Josh Allen is building on his MVP season. Really impressed with that comeback win over the Ravens. It hurt us. We didn't much care for it, but we were impressed by it nonetheless. But again, in this game, the Bills' one weakness, if they have a weakness, is going to be their rush defense. The Saints can rush the ball a little bit with Alvin Kamara, so we don't know what the point spread is yet. We're recording this Sunday night, so I think this will be a closer game. We like the Bills here by 10 over the Saints. Look at the Bears at the Raiders. If you look at this game, you would have thought the Raiders at home would have been the play here. We know we have the helmets backwards here. But the Bears really with that impressive victory at home over the Cowboys. Nobody had the Bears in that one. But what we saw there was an improvement with the coaching. We think the Ben Johnson offense is finally taking. We have our concerns with Geno Smith. We were high on him going to the Raiders, but what we've seen with the accuracy has not been there. And while he historically is better indoors, this will be his second home game. We'll see if that improves. Very much concerned. We think Caleb and the Ben Johnson offense for now is going to be a little bit better than the Raiders, even if it is in Vegas. We like the Bears here, 20-17. Browns at the Lions. And not sure about you. Give us your opinion in the comments. Was the Browns-Packers game weirder or the Rams-Eagles game a weirder finish? I mean, the Rams-Eagles was a horrible bad beat, but the Browns too, if you had the Packers money line, that was ouch. But just the results, ridiculous. When we think of the Browns, regardless of how great that defense is, we're really impressed by what they've done against great offenses. Green Bay, Cincinnati when they had Joe Burrow. But we think Jared Goff and that Lions offense at home, they are ridiculously good. So we think that even with that great Browns defense, it might be a little bit of a letdown after the surprise victory over the Packers. I think they'll get killed at Detroit 35-17. Similarly, we think the Chargers have been one of the surprise stories of the year, despite their great season last year, kind of fizzling in the playoffs, kind of, I guess, limited or lowered expectations. But remember that Herbert put up great numbers in the regular season last year. We think he only had 3 interceptions for the whole season, so he definitely should be in the MVP conversation. Clearly, you got Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and Mahomes, but you got to mention Herbert right up there with the other guys. It's definitely something that should be discussed. And we like the Chargers here, even visiting the New York Giants. We think they're that much better, 24-17 over the G-Men in the Meadowlands. Panthers, Patriots, a great performance by Bryce Young in the Week 3 victory over the Falcons. Michael Penix just was not there in that game. And then the Patriots, a lot of people had them winning over the Steelers. It was one of those coin toss type of games. We took the Steelers just because we trusted Aaron Rodgers a little bit more. But it wasn't Rodgers. It was the Patriots having 5 giveaways in that game. You're not going to recover from that. It's just not going to happen. So we wonder if the Patriots are going to be back. We think we do like them here. We don't think that you're going to have another 5-turnover game. We think they're going to come back to form and beat the Panthers here by a score of 28-20. We think it's a good bounce back, a get-right game for the Patriots. Commanders of the Falcons. We're going to look at this play, and we're going to make our prediction based on the fact that Jaden Daniels does not start. We're not sure what his status will be for this game, but we're going to assume it's Marcus Mariota versus Michael Penix. And when we look at Michael Penix, it's tough to ignore the fact that the game against Carolina was a disaster. We think he's set up for a bounce back. Very inaccurate. Just there's no timing there. We've always made this case. It's tough for dome teams to play on turf, to go play on grass. It's different speeds, different timing. Not making excuses. We just believe that to be the case. We've studied that for decades. But we like the Falcons here bouncing back over the Commanders. I think it'll be close. We like them 24-21. Again, if Jaden Daniels starts, we would flip that. We would like the Commanders over the Falcons. We think he's that much better than Penix at this point in his career.
That's all for this time. Thank you for joining. Please subscribe to our channel, and we look forward to sharing our future videos with you.